What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Check this out, man. We got a 2022 Kawasaki Brute Force 300 right here behind me. Basically what the customer states is that he uses it for pulling a brush hog up big hills and stuff, and he does use low range. His neighbor was using it, and all of a sudden he lost low range altogether. There was no low range. It'd go into high. It'd be kind of hard to shift. You shift it back, there was no low range. Now I have gone over it just a little bit off camera already. Found a few issues. So basically when you ride it and you put it in gear, you don't have to give it any gas. The idle's set low enough to where the clutch should disengage completely and it'll pull forward. You have a hard time getting it out of high and the neutral and then neutral to reverse. I've checked the shift linkage. Linkage is perfect on it. So my guess is going to be over here on the clutch side, it's going to either be the one-way bearing or it's going to be not the wet clutch, but the shoes on the other clutch on the back here, your secondary clutch. If those are activating too early, if the spring came off. But I know for a fact it does shift into low. If you push up a little bit harder, it will shift into low, but it's binding up and stopping it. So we're gonna go ahead and take off the step over here. We'll pull this clutch cover off, we'll pull the recoil off, the clutch cover off, and we'll pull the belt and we'll check that secondary clutch. We'll check the primary clutch. We'll check out the one-way bearing to make sure it is actually spinning properly. Some of them just have a bushing where it just spins freely either direction. So we're gonna double check that on this one, and then we're gonna go ahead and pull the secondary clutch apart and check out the centrifugal force clutch on this with the clutch boots and stuff and feet to make sure they're not worn off and it's causing issues there. So let's go ahead and jump into this. We'll pull the step off, get that clutch cover off. All right, so we got the step off. We gotta take out the inner fender over here to get to one screw right there. This one here, you'll still need to loosen up these two boots over here. This is pretty similar to my Arctic Cat, was it 250, 300 DVX I have? Really similar, so this could be, I wouldn't doubt if it was almost the same motor, honestly. So we're gonna pull out all these 8mm head bolts. These are 6x10. And then we'll check to see if they are different lengths or not. I keep getting stuck with my magnet here. So we got all that. Let's get a screwdriver, take these two guys off real quick. Best thing to use that, honestly, is like a JIS screwdriver. It's a Japanese industry standard. It's a little bit different than our Phillips screwdrivers. So we'll pull that off. This one here will loosen up. And we should be able to slide these right off. Well, depending on how long they've been sitting on here. Oh, that one's stuck pretty good. Woo! There we go. Got that one. That was stuck really well. Let me grab my hose tool. These bad boys, they may have a little sealant on there from the factory. I'm honestly not sure. Some do to keep water intrusion out of the clutch. My gosh. Woo! Yeah, you can see where they pretty much just stuck on there. Let me grab another magnetic tray and we'll check these bolts to see if they are, yep, they are absolutely different. So I will keep those in order, starting from the top right, going all around from the left to make sure I don't mix any of them up. Yep, because that one's longer. Oh. I believe this one and that might be the only one that runs through the crankcase. Or not, that one doesn't look like it runs through the crankcase. That's good. I thought maybe that one would run through the crankcase because of the long boss. Now I haven't personally taken one of these apart, the Brute Force. Check to make sure. I'm gonna pull this recoil off just in case they do have some recessed. I don't think they will, but let's go ahead and pull this off anyways. All right. Should be able to get the cover off now. This recoil shouldn't, this part for the recoil should not have to come off. There we go. All right, so apparently my mic went dead when I was talking about this whole thing. You guys saw the debris fall out. We're just gonna leave that part in there. Sorry if it's dead, but this, check all this out. This is all the debris from what I believe is the bearing in here possibly. The one-way bearing, or they call it a bushing. It is all over the place. It fell all apart. We need to check secondary clutch out to make sure the centrifugal force clutch, to make sure all the feet don't have any metal debris in there. You can see some stuck in there. We got to pull this apart, pull the belt out, and then we'll go ahead and check in here to see where all this debris come from. Again, sorry I didn't know my mic went dead. I was telling my GoPro to do something and it didn't do it, and then I checked and mic was dead. But you guys just look at all this. Here, let me pull you off the stand, get you a close-up. But look at all this back here. That is the parts of the bushing and the one-way bearing just destroyed down here, all over my bench, or my lift, I mean. You can see it in the secondary clutch. Pretty crazy. Like I said, he did use this all the time for pulling a big Swisher finishing mower or brush hog. So I'm gonna grab the tools, we'll pull this off, we'll get this off, and we'll see what's going on. All right, so we got a 19 millimeter. We'll start here on the primary. You can see all that pressure let off there. Just a nut. And this guy here. So let's go ahead and pull the outer sheave off. The teeth look good. Teeth look good there. The sheave, it's got a little bit of damage on the inside. Nothing horrible. I can clean up with a little bit of Scotch-Brite, make sure there's nothing like right there. It's sticking out a little bit. So that can cause issues down the way. Maybe that wasn't the bushing. There's a sleeve. Oh, here's the primary clutch with the weights. You can just see how full of debris and dirt that guy is. Let's take out the slider plate. Slider plate looks pretty good. So maybe, boy, I'll have to double check to see what the heck that is. Because I thought this was supposed to have a bushing on top of it. Maybe I'm incorrect. I'll have to check the microfiche again, but let's get this slider plate back on here. That feels smooth, but we'll clean all that out. Secondary sheave has a little bit of damage too, nothing too horrible. Actually, I think this still does have a bushing that goes over the top of it. That's right, because when this is on there, it slides over the top of that. But anyways, let's see. We'll set that off to the side. Let's go ahead and get the other clutch off. That actually came off pretty easy. It's a 19 millimeter, by the way. Spacer. This is built just like the Arctic Cat I have. Oh, looky there. So it wasn't the primary clutch. Holy smokes. Look at all that debris. That is major failure on the secondary clutch. Bearings look good, but look at those feet. Those fling out and they catch and they are destroyed. Done. It even bent some of the fan pieces on back. I can straighten all those out. That's not a big deal. That just helps the cooling. But you can just see all the debris inside this thing. So we're gonna take this over to the bench and we're gonna have to disassemble this. I'll have to put a piece of all thread through there, hold this down, take that off, and this will pop that spring. The secondary feet will come out. I'll take the clips off. I'll have to just probably get a whole new one. I might just look into to see if they sell this as a complete assembly or not. So let me go ahead and we'll wipe all this out, take this to the bench, look at some microfiche real quick, or sorry, parts diagram, and see if they just sell this separate from, I mean, it's Kemco, so this is the same motor. I almost guarantee 100% this is the same motor that is in my 09 Arctic Cat 300 DVX, because it's a Kemco product. That is a Kemco product in that one also, or a Mongoose 300, and the setup is exactly the same. I'm actually gonna walk around with you guys. Let me go set this on my workbench, but I'm gonna walk around with you guys this other side. Just take a look, because I looked at this thing, I'm like, man, this looks exactly like my Arctic Cat DVX 300 I had got from a friend. Yeah, this is the exact same, almost the exact same motor. I think this might be a little bit different as far as transmission style, but man, it is such a replica. Keying, it's Kemco. It's not even a Kawasaki motor. Man, that is great. Well, it might be a Kawasaki motor. I have to look, but definitely Kemco transmission parts. So you might, man, that's crazy. Right there all day. Kemco. Wow, impressive. I'm gonna sweep all this out. We'll head over here to the workbench here shortly and we'll get that secondary clutch apart and take a look at what's going on there. All right, here's what we got going on. So I'm gonna use my Polaris primary clutch tool, or for the spider gear and stuff like that. We're gonna put it in here since I can get a good grip on here. We'll put it here, so that's staying in place. I'm gonna use a washer on top of this because this sits on back of your clutch. And then I'll grab this guy, we'll set it here. Now the only reason I'm doing this is because I don't have the proper tool apparently for this. So then we'll take another washer that's a little bit smaller and this nut, and we'll screw it down on here. Here's the crazy part. I have no idea how I'm gonna try to hold this thing, because I think this whole shaft is just gonna spin anyways down in here, but I could probably stick another nut on the bottom side of that. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and trying to figure this out, because this is a 39 or a 40 millimeter socket, and I don't have one because I don't work on these things that much. So we're gonna try a few different things here. We're gonna take a nut, I'm gonna jam it down here, and hopefully that'll stop the turning of this thing. And then, I don't know, I might have to run to auto parts store and see if I can't find a socket on the shelf that'll fit that, because I really have no idea. I don't have one that big. I have a 36 is usually what I stop at, and then I think I bought a inch and something for something else I was working on the other day and I needed it. So we got that guy there's tight. Slide this back down on here. There. Because I don't know what kind of tension this thing holds, so I don't want to, pull this nut off. I mean, this whole thing might come up anyways. I have no idea. We're gonna find out together. So I'm gonna grab maybe some gloves and hold this and see if I can't break this guy loose. I'm probably gonna need to go get a socket. So I think I'm just gonna run to the auto parts store, grab a socket for this guy, if you guys even see what I'm doing. Grab a socket. Hopefully I have one on the shelf I can buy, and that way we don't have to struggle with, we can just hit with the impact and get it to come apart. All right, guys, so I finally got the new clutch in today. You can see the difference. It's OEM Kawasaki. Well, it says it's from Kawasaki. Part number is going to be 4103. Looks to be 6-Y003. Hub assembly. New one? Old one. Big difference. So along with the dry clutch hub here, I figured this out the other day. I was messing around with this thing, and well, it may not work now, but this whole entire piece, that's all those pieces of that clutch. That's how hot that thing got and melted all that together. The hub itself is actually in really, really good condition. There's one little spot right here that's got something on it. The rest of it, you can't feel it with a fingernail. So I'll go ahead and I'll clean that out. I'll pick that out and go ahead and scrub this down with maybe a 1000 grit or something like that, and just clean it up a little bit. But there is no grooves in there, which is kind of crazy. I expect it to be all grooved up. So what we need to do now, I hope the mic's working because I got it attached to my hat. Honestly, my little lapel mic got messed up. So what we need to do now is, I honestly don't even need this in here anymore because this is not holding anything down. We just got to put the clutch on. Got the spring on there, the bottom spacer for the spring to sit in, top one for that to sit in, and then this guy here will go on like this, get compressed and screwed on like that. That's going to be the hard part. So I actually have a palm ratchet, so I'm going to try to push down on this thing and do it. I probably could get something and compress it, like a set of C-clamps or something. Actually, a couple of C-clamps might work really good on that, since I don't have the proper spring compressor for that. So let's grab a couple C-clamps out of the bottom of my drawer here, see if they're big enough. They might not even be big enough for me to do this. Yeah, unfortunately they're not big enough. I think I would probably tear something up. So, gonna have to do this by just strength. So I don't know if I can do it or not. We'll see what happens here once we get that all lined up and pushed on there. So again, I can push on it. I could probably, you know what, I could probably put it in my press too. So I can push on it like that and get the nut on there. That's gonna be the tough part. So, I could take a socket here and here and put it in my press and with a plate and do that. But I'm gonna see what I can do like this. So you guys if you wanna watch me struggle, why not? Let's watch me struggle. It's always a good time. Matter of fact, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna run this guy down a little further just to make sure it doesn't actually impede on my socket at all. I know somebody's probably out there screaming, do this or do that, and my brain's not working very well today. It's been a long weekend. Of course, Labor Day weekend it was, but again, I did a bunch of work around the shop. Let's try it left-handed. Line up like this, push down like so. I can't get it. Let's take a look in the back. I'm afraid if I pinch that, it's gonna do that. If I set that, I don't think that's flush. I don't know. I'm gonna figure this out off camera and let you guys know what I did. All right, so this is my concoction to make this work. I got a 36mm socket on top, the plate, a couple other sockets, and then my 38mm there. Got that on. Now, we're gonna slowly release the pressure. I'm gonna put you guys on the stand for this. All I need to do is for it to blow off of my face or something. So I'm gonna stand up, slowly release the pressure here, and make sure that nut stays on. All right, so we're good there. Plate. So that's kind of how I do a Harley clutch too. I put the sockets on the side, press it down the plate, pull the snap ring out. So we got that done. Let's throw this back in here. Let's walk back over to my bench now, and I got that slid through a little too much. Put it in the round side that way. Throw this guy back in there. Let's walk back over to the bench, put things away, and finish torquing this down. All right, so we're back over here at my lift. Up on my TV, I got the service manual right there. So the big nut on the primary clutch for that is 43 foot-pounds. So let's scroll down here a little bit on the left, and it basically shows you everything going on. Talks about replacing certain stuff, replacing the clutch assembly drive plate, so on and so forth. So 43 foot-pounds is what it calls for. Right here. We'll zoom in a little bit more. So you can see that. Torque it to 43 foot-pounds. So let's grab torque wrench, since we got this back on, and we'll try to torque this to 43 foot-pounds while I hold it in place. Get the snap-on disco wrench here. 43, whoop, that's not foot-pounds, that's Newton meters. That's foot-pounds. 43, woo! I don't know, we'll see if I can hold this or not. I need another adapter. Let's see, I need to go from 3/8 to, or half to 3/8. There we go. So let's see if I can hold this. I doubt I can. Ooh, that's kind of scary. I can only get to 32. Actually, I can get to 33 myself. So what that means, trusty old impact. I'm gonna call that one good. Now I will have to tap that off with a hammer because if you remember, we did knock the socket on. And now it's off. So the weird part is I measured this at 40, but with that big lip right there, a 40mm socket was too loose. So I went to actually Northern Tools and took this with me and found a 38 that was slightly smaller and just tapped it a couple times and it was on there. So now our clutch is back together. There is a little bit of red Loctite on that, by the way, and I still need to clean this up. So I'm gonna clean this up and we'll reinstall this back on this brute force. I don't know why I put you guys way over there. All right, so basically the centrifugal clutch here, what they call that, the nut on that one will be tightened down to 40 foot-pounds. You don't want to forget that spacer either. So this will be 40 foot-pounds, and then this one here gets torqued down to, it says up there, 68 foot-pounds. So first what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and install this part of the clutch in, and this, and we'll keep that pushed all the way in. All right, and then we have our belt direction this way. We'll go ahead and I'm going to put that in my secondary clutch like so and place it on here. Slide it on. Get it over that. There we go. And then we can slide this part. Now it is all cleaned out here. There's no debris in there. Remember, this is smooth. It's not wore in. So, and there's no double spline. So anywhere you put it on there is fine. So we'll slide this on here like so. Spacer. And then the nut. I think I'm gonna go this direction with this because it looks like this was in the bearing over here. It looks to be like a 17. Taking a wild guess here. Maybe even bigger, maybe a 19. I can't remember. So it's a 19. Remember, this one gets torqued down to 40 Newton meters, or 40 foot-pounds. I'm so used to using Newton meters. There's 40. We'll grab our Tusk clutch holder tool and we'll adjust it to fit this thing. Holds the clutches, sprockets, flywheels, all types of stuff. All right, there's that. Oh, actually hit angle. I don't want angle. We want 40 foot-pounds. There we go, 41.3. Take that back off. Make sure that spins good. Doesn't feel bad. I don't know if that's an optical illusion because of dirt. Oh, okay, I see what it is. I thought it was off center, but this is actually not milled 100% spherical, so this is not actually hopping, it's just that line there. Take primary clutch, this guy, I don't know what size that was again, a 19, slide this guy on there. Now this one here could be a little bit of a booger, just for the simple fact that you will have to, you can see how this will set on the spline, so you might have to kind of work with this belt a little bit to get this guy to slide in so you can actually get it to set in on those splines, because this will set up pretty high. So what we need to do to get this to set down in that secondary clutch, we'll grab the belt, we'll kind of pinch it if we can, kind of spread that secondary clutch open a little bit. We'll squeeze it, pull on it, and that'll create space for the primary clutch up front so this guy can slide on a little bit more. May have to do it a couple times to get the right distance. To create that space, again, like I said, and get this belt. I don't screw everything up here. There we go. You can see how now you got the grooves on there. This will sit on here like this. Grab our nut, screw that on. There's that one. Now again, this gets torqued down to 68 foot-pounds. So again, I was an angle, so let's go unit. .68, and basically it shows the same thing. I'll use my Tusk clutch holder tool and we'll pitch it together, and it shows it stopping roughly like this vicinity here. So let's open it up a little bit. That way it sits on there really nice, and then we could torque this thing down to 68 foot-pounds. Ow! That hurt. All right, I was trying to switch hands, but anyways, all right, let's try it again. There we go. That's actually at 71.8, but close enough. Smashed my finger pretty good, come down and got it on the peg there. So there we go, we got that. We'll turn this to get it back out of the secondary clutch. And then we'll go ahead and put the side case on now. We're gonna torque these all down to 10 to 12 Newton meters. Tighten these back up, put it back, we're not gonna put the, well, we can probably start it up right now, a matter of fact. Let's just go ahead and start it up before we put that back on the side case, because I hate to take it all back apart if it's not operating properly. All right, so let's go on and fire this thing up here. We should be in neutral right now. We'll start this up. Let it warm up here for a second. You can see how this is setting still. Now it should catch since we're up on RPMs. We'll go ahead and let it idle and see how that'll set still. So that's not spinning that interior, that's not spinning the transmission shaft. If I spin this and the transmission's turning as this catches, so that opens up and catches. This will squeeze the belt when you rev the RPMs, and it'll pull into the secondary clutch, turning the centrifugal force clutch at a fastest speed. The feet come out, catch the outer housing, spin it this way, and which turn spins the transmission, which drives the rear end. So let's see if we can put it in gear. There's high. Catching high, no problem. There's low. And it's back to low, no problem. And reverse. Oh yeah. And back to neutral. Sweet. So I did adjust that shift linkage before I took the clutch apart. But you guys can see, like I was explaining, a lot of your, some of your CVT style transmissions operate like this. Some have an interior wet clutch like this on the inside of the motor and operate a secondary clutch with just this piece and the primary clutch, which is that piece. Again, this sits still as this, if this is spinning as the motor is running, this will engage the transmission and make it hard to shift into any gear. This needs to be set in almost completely stationary. A little bit of movement's fine, but you want to be able to move it like this, no problems. So let's throw the side cover back on, put this thing back together. We'll take it for a test drive and we'll test this out in the yard and down the driveway and see. I'm pretty sure, I know we got this thing fixed, but you know, let's take a test ride. What the heck? All right, guys, we got the side and everything back on here. I like the fact that the pull rope on these actually got a twist like this to be able to pull them. So that's kind of cool that it locks it in place like that. But anyways, let's fire this thing up. Neutral and neutral. Again, we know it shifts because we did that. So my microphone is on my head, so when we ride, it might be a little loud as far as the wind goes. So there's reverse, nice and smooth, no bump, no hit. Coming off the lift. That's really smooth. Okay, we're gonna watch this for back to neutral. Got the neutral light. We are in high gear now. Doesn't show anything. And now we know we're in low gear. He was complaining about not being able to shift to low gear. So we'll go back to neutral. We'll rev it up. Not going anywhere. Let it idle back down. We'll go straight to low. You can hear it click in. Hits right away and goes. Does what it's supposed to do. Let's go ahead and put it in high. Out of low. Catches right away. No big deal. Like I said, I know it's going to be windy because my mic is actually pointed out. I don't have a windsock on it. So let's just see how it runs. Sounds. Sounds really good. I don't have any issues. All right, we'll stop down here at the end. Shift it to low. Ride into low, no problem. Neutral reverse. No issues with reverse. We'll go low range. Shows the L again. And again, no issues at all. Feels really good. Back to high. There we go. Oh, there it popped out. Now it popped out. Let's see what's going on. Got on it pretty hard and it popped out of high gear. There's reverse. All right, back to neutral. Okay. High. Let's see what happens again. Could have been a fluke. All right. It's back to low. Light is on. Shit's in good. I'm going to try that high range one more time because we did adjust that. So we went, let's go from back to high. Seems like we're okay now. I think it was just a fluke. We didn't get shifted in right from the get-go. Back to neutral, key off. So I'm going to call that one fixed. Mic on the hat because my little lapel mic broke. I'll get another one coming so it doesn't look so horrible and sounds better. But anyways, so that was a 2022 Kawasaki Brute Force 300. It had that bad clutch issue. That centrifugal force clutch, the one with the feet on it, a centrifugal clutch, it just got overused. It got the crap beat out of it. It was probably never maintenance. I'm not sure how many hours he has on it, but we just replaced that one. Man, touched my face. Woo, that's nice. All that stuff on my face. How about that? I look a little bit better. But anyways, I'm not here to look pretty. But so now I'm gonna call that one fixed. I'll give him a holler, let him know it's fixed up. He can come and grab it. You saw that we had to torque that big nut at, what was it, 43 foot-pounds. And then the secondary clutch on there with the feet on it, that was at 40 foot-pounds. The primary clutch was 68 foot-pounds. Side cover, 10 to 12 newton meters. I think it's like 7 foot-pounds is what that translates to. So I'm gonna call that fixed, guys. Again, I appreciate you tuning in. If you need to get a hold of me, you can find me on all socials at Limitless Power Sports Service and Repair. That'd be Facebook, Limitless Power Sports Service and Repair. No, Limitless Power Sports is not on my Instagram. Sorry, that one is not there. But TikTok is Limitless Power Sports. Limitless Power Sports Sir and Rep. I cannot talk as usual. Limitless Power Sports 78 at gmail.com. My brain is all confuzzled right now. I got other things going on too. Lots of stuff here in the shop to do. Again, guys, I appreciate you tuning in, and I appreciate everyone who has subscribed to my channel. We're almost at 4,300 subscribers. Race season's almost over. I'll try to be more religious about posting stuff. And again, guys, I appreciate it. Stay tuned for my next video, and I'll catch you on my next upload.